guess what? I'm going to be y'all worst enemy that day.
Out to Hill, and that goes nowhere, ball's loose.
Really doesn't matter where we play at. They're going to get this work wherever, though.
It is loose and picked up and rattled.
I'm feeling like 12 receptions, 250.
I hate to throw up the peace sign against y'all.
He might be gone. Touchdown.
Bulletin board material.
Trent McDuffie knocked it loose. What a play.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, because the Kansas City Chiefs were the victors in Germany over the Miami Minnows, with the defense leading the charge and shutting down the #1 offense in the NFL almost all the way down. Meanwhile, Tyreek Hill was in fact not the Chiefs' worst enemy that day. He was actually one of the most helpful players on the team, gifting the Chiefs a 59-yard touchdown. So let's talk about the biggest standouts and key takeaways, as well as things the Chiefs can work on over the bye week as we look back over this wonderful win one more time. But first, how about those? All right, first off, the Chiefs shut everybody up and got it done in Germany, beating the Dolphins even though they arrived like 3 days later. And this graphic here shows that basically teams lose if they arrive later, with only the Vikings pulling off the W. But Andy Reid said,
we ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
Not today. We don't care about stats. We're just here for the big, fat W. However, speaking of stats, Travis Kelce needed just 13 yards to pass Tony Gonzalez as the all-time franchise leader in receiving yards, and while he didn't have a crazy game stat-wise, catching just 3 passes for 14 yards, it did put him 1 yard over Tony Gonzalez, officially placing him on top of the Chiefs franchise leader receiving summit. And with 3 catches in that game, that gives Kelce 101 consecutive games played with at least 3 receptions. Wild. Mahomes is now also 15-3 in his career following a loss, and Andy Reid is tied for the most regular season wins in franchise history with Hank Stram at 124. And the craziest part is Andy Reid can pass Hank Stram by beating his former team in the Eagles on Monday Night Football. On top of all of that, the Chiefs defense officially proved to everyone they are one of the best in the entire league, holding the NFL's #1 offense to the lowest amount of points they've scored all season, and Tyreek to just half his average yards in a game and 0 touchdowns, unless you count the one he gave to the Chiefs. And from here, we got to get into the key takeaways as we look back on this wonderful win over Tyreek's team and bask in the glory of the Chiefs defense no longer being slept on. But first, I got to thank the sponsor of today's video, the longtime sponsor of the channel, Bear Mattress. They make premium fiberglass-free mattresses customized to the way you sleep, and they ship it right to your door. They have a lot of amazing sales going on this month as well, so be sure to head to bearmattress.com/HBTC for more details. I've been using their mattress for a year now, and it has held up so well. It's given me the same quality of sleep I got when I first started using it, which is clutch because I'm still dealing with these dumb long-term back issues, and this mattress has helped me sleep fantastic. I personally am a back sleeper who likes a medium firmness in my mattress, but my wife, she sleeps on her stomach and prefers a mattress that is more firm. So after taking their online quiz, we were matched with the Elite Hybrid mattress that would benefit us both, and after ordering, they shipped it right to our front door, and from there, we threw out our old mattress, took the new mattress into our room, unboxed it, unrolled it, and boom! We officially upgraded our quality of sleep. You see, Bear's sleep recovery technology uses a Celliant-powered fabric to help you stay cool throughout the night, and all mattresses are Green Guard Gold certified, CertiPure US certified, and EcoFlex fiberglass free. Trust me, it's as safe and reliable as a Mahomes to Kelce touchdown in the red zone. And just like in my experience, Bear delivers the mattress right to your door in a box with free shipping in the US and is super easy to set up yourself. Bear also has a 120-night sleep trial, so you'll get more than 3 months to make sure that you love it, and if you don't, they'll pick it up for you and you'll get a full refund. Plus, Bear mattresses have a lifetime warranty, and they even offer financing options and flexible payment plans, so a great night's sleep is never far away. I certainly love my quality of sleep with Bear Mattress, and I think you will too. So if you're looking to upgrade your sleep, head to bearmattress.com/HBTC to get 35% off a Bear Mattress for a limited time. All right, the Chiefs started out hot with a 21-yard pass to MVS. Sky Moore also caught a 10-yard pass on 3rd and 2 to keep the chains moving. Then the longest reception of the day for the Chiefs, believe it or not, happened via this beautifully lofted ball to Noah Gray as he toe dragged out the right sideline to get KC into the red zone near the 10-yard line. Justin Watson almost scored the very next play, but after review, it was correctly called incomplete, and Rashee Rice, the yard after catch monster, then proceeded to catch a quick bubble screen and slingshot himself into the end zone for the actual first score of the game. I mean, come on, man. man. He is so good with the ball in his hands. Feed that man. But would you believe me if I told you he was only targeted once more all game long? That should be a borderline federal offense. And after this opening touchdown, many of us thought, oh boy, here comes the offensive shootout, with the Chiefs starting out hot and the Dolphins being the #1 offense in the NFL. But believe it or not, 7 punts in a row proceeded to follow. Yes, 7. The bad news about that meant the Chiefs offense stalled once again, but the good news, the Chiefs defense once again played out of their freaking minds. They held the Dolphins to 17 plays for 57 yards in these series of back and forth punts, which was incredible. On the first Dolphins drive, facing 2nd and 9, Tyreek caught a quick screen for a yard. Then on 3rd and 9, Jalen Watson came off the corner and Mike Dana helped finish the job, sacking Tua and forcing the first Dolphins punt. Then the Dolphins had a nice reverse from Hill to Waddle for a quick first down. Tyreek locked down another solid catch in the middle of the field, but Justin Reed then proceeded to spear Cedric Wilson Jr. like Goldberg at WrestleMania for an incomplete pass. And after Waddle caught this on 3rd and 9, an illegal shift penalty brought the Dolphins back 5 yards, and Miami couldn't overcome it, with the result being Dolphins punt number 2. Then the next punt drive for MIA, they ran a reverse to Hill for a quick 10, but a couple plays later, the 5'3" Hobbit wasn't tall enough to reel this one in, and on 3rd and 10, Jeff Wilson Jr. dropped what initially appeared to be a fumble, yet the result was an incomplete pass and punt number 3 in a row. Then on Miami's next drive, Tua threw the ball to Casper, the friendly, intentional grounding ghost, to bring forth a long 3rd and 20. And with Justin Reed refusing to let Cedric Wilson get anywhere near the first down, Miami had to punt again for the 4th drive in a row. As for the Chiefs and their 3 punting drives in a row, Pacheco had a couple pretty solid runs to start the drive, but the Chiefs punted shortly after. Next KC drive, Justin Watson snagged an 8-yard pass on a Mahomes rollout left, with Pacheco proceeding to move the chains, but sadly, Mahomes overthrew Watson on 3rd and 10 deep down the right sideline, and the result was punt number 2. For punt drive number 3 in a row for the Chiefs, McColl got tackled for a 7-yard loss on a jet sweep that was ugly, and after an incompletion on 2nd down with the Chiefs facing 3rd and 17, Mahomes just checked it down to McKinnon to create some space for Townsend's 3rd punt in a row. And that leads us to the Chiefs drive after all 7 of these punts happened back and forth, with them backed up to the 4-yard line after a special teams penalty on KC's receiving team happened. And most of us were sitting there like, good God almighty, this is going to for sure be another Kansas City punt. But no, not this time, because the Chiefs would not be denied as they matriculated the ball down the field thanks to this incredible catch by the rookie Rashee Rice on 3rd and 5. Look at this freaking catch. If he doesn't catch that, the drive stalls and they punt again. But chains moved, they keep going. However, the sad part here is this was Rashee Rice's last target of the entire day, and I will never understand why. Anyway, that helped to keep it moving with a couple more Pacheco runs. Kadarius Toney then made his one and only catch of the day, but it was for a hard-fought 18 yards, spinning around, juking a defender, and looked incredible. But why he, just like Rice, was never targeted again after this is beyond me. Next up was Sky Moore, who caught a 23-yarder up the left sideline in between defenders, bringing KC up to the 24. Then on 3rd and 3, Mahomes connected with a wide-open Jerick McKinnon thanks to a perfect play call, and McKinnon waltzed in for 6, with Butker bringing the score up 14-0. Then with roughly 2 minutes left in the half and the Dolphins trailing by 14, Miami did begin to move the ball thanks to this nice catch and run by Tyreek. But on this next play to Hill, this is where things take a freaking wild, crazy turn. On 2nd and 6 with 45 seconds remaining, they threw Tyreek a quick wide receiver screen on the left side, and Trent McDuffie blew that play all the way up, hitting Hill at the same time, or around the same time he caught the ball. And even if he just made that tackle, that is an incredible play by McDuffie. But he doesn't just want to be great, he wants to be one of the best in the entire league. So he also strips the ball out of Tyreek's hands, forcing his 4th fumble of the season, talking about McDuffie, and the ball hawk, Mike Edwards, scooped it up. Then, as Tyreek wrapped him up, he lateraled the ball into the awaiting arms of Brian Cook before being tackled, and Cook booked it down the sideline all the way to the end zone, looking like a villain from a Scooby-Doo movie, and that brought the Chiefs up 21-0 with roughly 30 seconds left in the half. And I found this whole thing hilarious, considering Tyreek Hill talked for 18 months almost every single week on his podcast about KC, how he can't wait to play them, he's going to be their worst nightmare, blah, blah, blah. But then when it's actually time to show up and play, he soils his joggers in front of a global audience and allowed the Chiefs defense to strip the ball and take it 59 yards for a touchdown. You can't make this stuff up. And what's even crazier The Chiefs used some of the draft capital obtained from the Tyreek Hill trade last year to trade up and get Trent McDuffie, and with L'Jarius Sneed out of the game at that time getting checked for a concussion, McDuffie was then in charge of covering Tyreek, and he was the one who forced the fumble. I mean, sheesh, these scriptwriters need a raise because it don't get much better than that. And after this happened, the Chiefs defense kept the pressure up and forced a very quick 3-and-out, and therefore, halftime, Chiefs up 21-0. Chiefs fans are over here about to light up their victory cigars. And things didn't start out any better for Miami as they once again went 3-and-out to start the half. The Chiefs moved the chains once and Mahomes scrambled for another, but a flag forced them back, and Mahomes did try to scramble again, coming up just 2 yards short, and the result was punt number 4 on the day for KC. And from here, the Dolphins finally somehow found a spark, converting a couple first downs, then also converted their first third down of the entire game, and Tua tossed up a pretty nice ball to Cedric Wilson Jr. for a 31-yard touchdown. McDuffie was honestly pretty sticky in coverage, but he was on the outside with Tua throwing the ball to Wilson's inside. So hey, great play there, tip of the cap to the Dolphins, and that brought the score up 7-21 with them trailing by 14. But no problem because the Chiefs are still up 2 scores, and this will not be one of those stressful games like usual, or will it? Because on the next freaking drive, Patrick Mahomes got strip sacked for the second week in a row on 3rd and 20, and the Dolphins recovered around the Chiefs' 25-yard line. One of the wildest things about this next drive is that the Dolphins were then facing a 3rd and 20, and Tua checked it down for a measly 8 yards, which would have resulted in like 4th and 12. But Chris Jones, he got flagged for a personal foul, which gave the Dolphins an automatic first down and moved them half the distance to the goal, and they instantly took advantage of that with a Raheem Mostert run for an almost too easy touchdown, which was the first rushing touchdown given up by the Chiefs defense all year. And that brought the game within 1 score, 14-21. So cool. Another 1-score Chiefs game that makes me want to rip my beard out and do the Game of Thrones style walk of shame through the Kansas City sewers. I'm just over here baffled that Chris Jones, the veteran, would make such a costly mistake again, similar to the Colts game last year when the drive was over and he helped extend it and it resulted in a touchdown. Please stop doing that. Anyway, the next drive resulted in LaMichael Pirine getting the ball for some reason on 2nd and 10 as he fell forward for like a half a yard. And then on 3rd and 9, Mahomes threw MVS a deep, catchable ball up the left sideline that was incomplete, and that meant the Chiefs had to punt the ball again, ahead by just 1 score with 12 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Now, to be fair to MVS, that wasn't the easiest catch to make in the world, but he still had the opportunity to come down with it, and he probably should have. Andy Reid even said after the game that MVS would probably like to have that one back, but hey, you can't go back and change it. I'm just glad the Chiefs won this game, or fans may be calling for both MVS and Chris Jones's jobs. After that KC punt, the Dolphins then marched down the field going 12 plays for 34 yards that took up nearly 8 minutes of game clock, and once again, the Chiefs defense showed up and showed out after Willie Gay blew up a huge first down run for a loss of 6. Then Trent McDuffie came on a corner blitz and Turk Wharton finished the job to make it 3rd and 26, which was too much to overcome, and the result was the 7th Dolphins punt of the game. McCole Hardman then decided to field this punt for whatever reason, maybe Dave Toub told him to, at the 2-yard line, giving the Chiefs offense the ball at the 10 with 4 minutes left in the game. No problem though, because they can just get a couple first downs and ice the game, or immediately go 3-and-out and punt the ball back to Miami when Andy Reid decided to run a play action pass on 3rd and 1 that resulted in Mahomes throwing the ball into the stands. Andy Reid was asked about that play after the game, with the reporters, just curious to his mindset on deciding to throw it on 3rd and 1 with just 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. And Andy said, "That would be one. If we ran it, you would ask why we didn't throw it." Well, no, Andy, we wouldn't have asked why you gave it to Isaiah Pacheco up the gut rather than Mahomes throwing it into the stands and stopping the clock with just over 2.5 minutes left in this game, and you up by 1 score. Big Red did go on to say, though, that he should have put it in the hands of the big O-line on that, and he owes them one. And at the end of the day, the Chiefs won, so no big deal, I guess, but over the last few years, the Chiefs have been one of the best in the NFL, top 3 every single year on 3rd down conversions, but one of the worst in the NFL on 3rd down and 4th down with 2 or less to go. So it is definitely something they need to continue adapting and trying to figure out. I don't know if they'll ever run a QB sneak, but they've got to get it figured out, man. With that being said, though, the Dolphins got the ball back with 2.5 minutes left in the game, and they ran the ball, surprisingly, on back-to-back plays with much success. Mostert racking up 39 yards on both of those runs. Great play calls by the Dolphins to move them quickly up the field. However, some quarterbacks are built for the bright lights, and some are not. Tua Tagovailoa is not yet that guy, because he proceeded to make not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 bad plays in a row with the game on the line. On first down, he almost threw an interception. Then on second down, he threw to Casper the friendly ghost again, his best friend. On third down, he had a wide open Wilson up the left sideline and threw it about 7 yards short. And then on fourth down, he knew Spags was blitzing, sending the house, and crumbled, fumbling the snap and choosing to dive on the ball, resulting in a turnover on downs and a Chiefs W. In conclusion, the Chiefs defense is the real freaking deal. Mahomes said after the game, quote, "I think you can see the offense is rolling in spurts. The offense can do it, but it's just a matter of being more consistent and eliminating penalties." Then he went on to say, all you can do is keep working. It's with him and his timing, the pass catcher snagging as many passes as possible. There, they can get a lot better as an offense, but lucky for them, the defense is playing so well to help them be 7-2 going into the bye. And when Patrick was asked if this is the best defense he's had since he's been here, he immediately said, I mean, for sure. Travis Kelce also said, I can probably tell you halfway through the season that this is the best defense I've ever played with. Andy Reid also gave huge props to the defense for holding it down all game and said the play on Tyreek where they took it home for 6, quote, doesn't get any better than that. I mean, the Chiefs defense held the #1 offense in the NFL to 14 points, their lowest all year, talking about Miami, that they've scored in a game, which most likely would have been 10 points if it wasn't for an extremely dumb Chris Jones personal foul that kept a drive alive for Miami and resulted in a touchdown. The Dolphins averaged 33.9 points per game coming into this, and the Chiefs are now one of the only 2 teams, with the other being the Ravens, to hold the opposition under 25 total points in every game so far this season. Spags' game plan worked to perfection, and the Dolphins now have lost all 3 of their games on the road, and Tua was sacked at least 3 times in all of those losses. The Chiefs did indeed get home to him 3 times and forced Tua to hold on to the ball for the second longest average time to throw on the season. Sheesh! I cannot wait for this game against the Eagles on Monday Night Football. However, I still think, as do you, I'm sure, the Chiefs offense can get better. The receiving room was quite frankly weird as hell yesterday, with Noah Gray leading the room in receiving yards, followed by Sky Moore, then Jerick McKinnon, with no pass catchers snagging more than 3 receptions, and those only 3 having 3 receptions were McCole Hardman, Noah Gray, and Travis Kelce. The Chiefs were just 3 for 10 on third downs and scored only 2 touchdowns on offense, though a positive sign was that they were 2 for 2 in the red zone, where previously they did struggle there and are more in the middle of the pack. They all know they can be better, and hopefully after the bye, they get it figured out. They also need to clean up the penalties. The Chiefs drew 9 flags for 69 yards compared to Miami's 6 for 45 on Sunday. On the year, though, they are in a 5-way tie for the most penalties with 60, which doesn't fit the narrative that the refs favor the Chiefs. So I'm sad to disappoint all of you mentally malnourished individuals that think that. Anyway, with all that being said, what are your thoughts and biggest takeaways from this game? How pleased are you with the defense on a scale of 1 to 10? And also, what about the offense? And lastly, what's the 3 biggest things you think the Chiefs need to work on heading into their bye week? Let me know your thoughts on all that in the comments down below. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those